It isn't real anymore.
Hi.
What you miss doesn't exist.
What's going on? I'm just like having a moment, you know.
The end we start from. So this is a really depressing kind of film about a post-apocalyptic world where a major disaster happens in the UK, and it stars Jodie Comer, who is a heavily pregnant woman who is already struggling, and then this awful disaster happens, and you see her trials and tribulations of trying to get through this disaster with her partner. Anyway, Alex, what did we make of this film?
Yeah, what a nice surprise! What a nice surprise! So, it basically it feels like a post-apocalyptic story, but it's not really that. It's just an environmental disaster, floods, that forces the population, pushes the population over the line, and they have to relocate, and they have to deal with lack of food, lack of clean water, lack of hygiene, everything that we're used to, and we follow this Jodie Comer's character, which is just credited as woman. That's her character.
Yes.
That she just gave birth, and she has this tiny little baby and her husband, and they're running away from home because the house is getting flooded, and the hospitals, the whole of London is getting flooded. And the actual story in the film, I thought, is how she deals as a brand new mother, let's call it, with her first child, the newborn in her arms, how she deals with the mental pressure and added pressure. So first, the responsibility of having a child, a brand new child, new mother, all the stress that brings, and then on top of that, the situation of survival, where you don't know where you're going to eat, you don't know how long the food is going to last, and you don't know who's going to hurt you. And that I felt was very gripping. How did you feel about that, Buzz?
I agree. It was almost kind of nerve-wracking watching this mother, really enact her maternity to look after her child, and sometimes most of the film actually without the support of a father. But I did, I think there's a lot of different ways you can view this film. As you say, it's mostly a film about the connection between a mother and her child. But also, I think another standpoint you can come from is the absolute fragility of civilization, in terms of modern civilization, and how just a few factors can go wrong and we're killing each other for food, essentially. And as you say, it's not even, maybe post-apocalyptic world is the wrong way of describing it. It's almost like a natural disaster gone too far. And but it doesn't hone in too much on that element of the film, which I think we both appreciated. It kind of allows the film to focus on the characters rather than the horrible disaster that's going. It's always going on in the background. It's always news reports, and you'll hear about deaths. You won't actually see them, and I liked that. But did you think this film had anything else to offer other than those two main points about motherhood and post-apocalyptic worlds?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's so well layered, and it's almost like a psychological study of human beings, because there's these set pieces. So first of all, we're talking, at one point she gets into this refugee camp with other mothers, right, and other people, and in that refugee camp is people that had to leave their homes, right? And there's always going to be, not enough food, or not all your comforts, creature comforts and quality food and things like that. It's just bare minimum to survive is what this center is. And that does things to human minds, and to the people that are in there. First of all, they're stressed, they're away from home, and then people start fighting about their pillows, that somebody took somebody else's pillow, and it just turns into a sudden violent, and it degrades slowly into a state of inhumanness, almost like, and that's one set piece. And then further down the line deals with another one where they're secluded on an island, and what that does to the human mind, and what are the consequences to this mother, but to other people as well. And that I just found brilliant, to be honest.
Thank you. Thank you. Where are you going?
Not sure.
And you're traveling alone?
I am.
We're heading to my friend's commune. Do you know if we're near the coast?
Well, there are communes on all the islands, so you want to head to the northern pier. That's where I got the boat from, at least, but she might have stopped. I don't know.
You've been to one.
Yeah.
What?
They're perfect. It's exactly where you want to be with your child.
Why did you leave then?
Because they all wanted to forget. And I don't want to forget before, so...
And one thing I would like to point out, though, and you know, it's not really so much my own idea as it was yours, but the males in the film, and I think you know what I'm going to say because it was an idea that you said, and I actually, upon looking back, I agree. All the way males in the film are either weak, or they are cowardly, or they are just brutes in general. They're not very strong characters. Now, do you have an idea of why you think that might be? Or do you just, because it was definitely there for a reason. I don't think we were both imagining it.
I think it's so yeah. So there's themes of abandonment that are almost like all over the film, because the father, her husband, Jodie Comer's character's husband, maybe it's doubtful. There is a point in the film where he can't get into a shelter because it's only women and children that are prioritized, and that's what needs to come in. And he almost like uses this opportunity to step away from the responsibility of dealing with the father. And actually, he actually says in the car, "I can't protect you, so you have to go into the shelter."
Yeah.
Now, the family is also a theme. The strength of the family is also a theme, and I felt that as a family that is probably stronger together, they shouldn't have been split up, and he was the first one to bail. But further, as you watch the film, there's only one character, which is Benedict Cumberbatch's character, that is honorable as a male, and honorable and decent, and just doesn't abuse them. He meets these two female characters, which are both mothers, in an abandoned house, and then they have a good night together, as in drinking and dancing. Nothing happens, no sexual, no nothing, but he's the only one that is actually saying, "I'm trying to go back to where I live and find my family," and then he advises them where to go in order to be safe, to go to this island where is this community that they're going to be safe. So it's a bit unbalanced, I felt, between what did you think? Do you think that's the right way? Do you think did it ruin the film in any way? I don't think it did.
My question is motive from a director, and before I say anything, I think Cumberbatch's role in the film was a little bit odd, really. I don't really think it added too much to the film, and you could even say that he would refuse to play a cowardly man or something, because there seemed to be an agenda in the film, and it depends on how you look at it, really. But it was either the director is maybe saying that this is the state of males now in Western civilization, and if a disaster happens, this is how they would respond, which might be a valid point. Or the director might just not have a very good opinion of men. I mean, you wouldn't really know unless you spoke to them. But I guess it may be ambiguous like that, but it was definitely a thing in the film. But anyway, not to let it overshine the rest of it, I thought this film was quite enjoyable, and it was edge of the seat sort of stuff, and you felt the fear of Jodie Comer's character. Already that situation's bad, but to also be having a baby that's less than a year old to look after just makes it so much more extreme. So yeah,
it was so refreshing to see that a post-apocalyptic film, which is what the trailer puts it as, by the way. You look at the trailer and you're thinking, oh, it's a mother with a baby in a post-apocalyptic world. It has none of that. It's probably like maybe a minute of scenery, of post-apocalyptic scenery. But this is the right way to do a post-apocalyptic film. You look at how human beings behave when it all goes sideways around them, and this is exactly what you need to get. So Yeah, very good film.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching our review of The End We Start From on Netflix. If you want to watch something similar, stick around for our discussion on Baby Reindeer, also on Netflix. And thank you for subscribing and liking our clip, and we'll see you next time.